Okay, we are live. We are live. Oh, oh. Don't need to move stuff around too much. We get it together, y'all. Hey, y'all. Oh, y'all. Oh my gosh, can't respond to this text. All right. Sorry, y'all. What's up? What is up, good people? It's your boy Roasted Potato. Let me make sure. Hold on, the mic ain't even where it's supposed to be. Okay. I mean, how does it sound?
Ban has one.
Okay. I think we're good. I think everything should be doing what it's supposed to. So, how y'all doing, man? I'm gonna put up the chat on my phone. How y'all doing? Today, we are Stacy. What's up? What up, Stacy? What's good? Hey, y'all. Today we watching the Garten of Banban full timeline. Getting the whole vibe right now. All the lore that I couldn't put together myself. We about to get it reconstructed for us. So, without further ado, I need to make sure the sound is running and stuff too. But yeah,
The most complex and
let me see.
mysterious stories out there, filled with hours of hidden lore, creepy VHS tapes,
Make sure the sound on. Okay, cool. We lit. What's up? It's all good, Stacy. I know it was real late, man. My apologies. I had to leave and cut the stream short. But you know, had to handle some business and things. But we still here. We did go finish that. So hopefully that was a good little vibe for y'all. And we about to watch the lore. I need to see the lore. Okay. Oh, hold on. Wrong button. What's it called?
strange notes, and missing children. Today, I've put together every single piece of the puzzle
Have
to
you?
create the full timeline of the Garten of Banban story so far.
Tell us.
Presumably, long before Banban's kindergarten was founded, there was a much older and more mysterious place simply known as the Old Kindergarten. It wasn't just a school, it was a forgotten testing ground. The Old Kindergarten had 9 mascots: Tamataki, Chamataki, Bittergiggle, Zolphius, Syringan, Kittysaurus, Serdadadu, Flumbo, and Bruschista. These
Okay.
characters were created to entertain and interact with children. For a while, the system worked. The Old Kindergarten
wait.
ran smoothly.
Is that why like Flumbo is on the original cover? Like fully grown though. What? They didn't show Bombalina though, but he was originally a character before Bomb, perhaps.
Thesaurus, Serdadadu, Flumbo, and Bruschista.
What?
These characters were created to entertain and interact with children. For a while, the system worked. The Old Kindergarten ran smoothly, day after day, until something went horribly wrong. One day, without warning, an unexplained incident occurred. No one knows what caused it. All we know is that the kindergarten was shut down, and everyone inside, staff, children, and mascots, vanished or were presumed dead. Among the victims was a boy named Josh. His grieving parents couldn't accept the loss. Desperate and broken, they began searching for a way to bring him back from the dead. That obsession turned into action. The couple founded a new facility, Banban's kindergarten, built directly on the rotting remains of the old one. But this new kindergarten was just a disguise. Behind the colorful walls and friendly mascots were illegal science experiments designed to manipulate life and death. Their ultimate goal.
Have you ever wished you could play a video game your way? Where you can be invincible, unimaginably wealthy.
Their goal was to resurrect Josh. To do that, they hired scientists willing to cross every line. One of them was Dr. Uthman Adam. He was brilliant, too brilliant. His mission was ultimate goal was to resurrect Josh. To do that, they hired scientists willing to cross every line. One of them was Dr. Uthman Adam. He was brilliant, too brilliant. His mission was to bring the mascots to life. At first, they tried using mammalian circulatory systems, cases 2 through 6, but nothing worked. That is, until they discovered his mission was to bring the mascots to life. At first, they tried using mammalian circulatory systems, cases 2 through 6, but nothing worked. That is, until they discovered Givanium, a mysterious compound with life-giving properties. Their first success was small, a tiny Opila chick that twitched its arm for a moment, but that moment changed everything. It meant Givanium.
When you wake up on the streets. Oh, I did see Nab Nab. But no, I guess I missed the warning. That was pretty cool. He was right there in the cut. I don't know why he was right there, but it was good to see him. Nab Nab is the homie. What up, Flumbo?
Work to perform the dangerous
Gervinium?
That moment success was small, a tiny Opila chick that twitched its arm for a moment, but that moment changed everything. It meant Givanium worked to perform the dangerous surgeries required. They created Syringin, but his low intelligence and unstable behavior meant he was quickly scrapped. Still, the experiments continued. Then came Case 6, Banban. He was the first true success. The scientists switched his circulatory system to Givanium, and to push things further, they infused him with the human genome of Dr. Uthman Adam himself. Banban didn't just come to life. He remembered. He thought he was Uthman Adam. He was intelligent, well-spoken, curious, and disturbed. He ate, drank, and complained of constant, unexplained pain. He couldn't understand what he was or why he existed. Eventually, the real Uthman Adam met Banban in person. At first, it was calm. Banban shook his hand like any stranger. But as the doctor began explaining the truth, Banban snapped. He attacked Adam, stopped by security. From that moment, Banban was isolated. In solitary, Banban fell deeper into madness. He rocked in a corner, repeating 4 words over and over: Givanium, Pancreas, Weverly, and Uthman. He begged to see Dr. Weverly Mason, though no one knew why. To help stabilize him, they created Banbalina. She mirrored Banban's early behavior, and she was purposely never introduced to her own genome donor. They placed her in Banban's room. When she approached him, Banban leapt up, hugged her, and then returned to the corner. After that meeting, Banbalina also began deteriorating. In a last-ditch effort to control Banban, scientists injected him with a new Givanium formula designed to lower his intelligence. It worked, but at a cost. He began shaking violently, screaming in pain. What the scientists had done was awaken something dark, Banban's hellish form. He became a violent threat, attacking workers, though he was eventually subdued. Meanwhile, other experiments continued. Stinger Flynn showed early signs of intelligence. Within just 1 day, he could even speak like a human. Sheriff Toadster learned to walk on 2 legs, ditch his frog-like habits, and behave more like a sentient being. Case 10, Opila Bird, was designed to be loving and motherly, combining flamingo and ostrich DNA. But she turned out to be dangerously overprotective, attacking anyone except children. Money was running out. The facility shut down several cases. Case 12, its sub-cases, and others like Syringin, Sheriff Toadster, Queen Bouncelia, and Bitter Giggle. All 4 were dumped on level -5. There, they stumbled upon Sir Dadadoo, another forgotten case. They redirected all resources from Syringin to Stinger Flynn, but that wasn't the end. Deep in the kingdom, a rebellion was brewing. Sir Dadadoo had a plan. He wanted to overthrow the facility's leaders. When that failed, he used Queen Bouncelia's scepter to summon an army of naughty ones. These creatures could even possess the minds of other mascots, a phenomenon phenomenon called nautification, but the others turned against Sir Dabney,
Nautification.
sealed him and the naughty ones inside Bouncelia's pouch, and cut him off from power. At the same time, the ball pit structure was falling apart. Dr. Weverly Mason realized the kindergarten was doomed. She made plans to flee with Uthman Adam to Spain, leaving a secret note for him. She warned him that Bring a Friend Day would be a disaster. On that day, October 22nd, 2016, 6 mascots were meant to be shown to the public. Stinger Flynn, Banban, Banbalina, Opila Bird, Captain Fiddles, and Jumbo Josh. But only 2 were fully ready, Captain Fiddles and Stinger Flynn. Still, all 6 were paraded into the outer sector to entertain kids and parents.
That's when they escaped.
What no one knew was that the ball pit couldn't handle the crowd. It collapsed, killing dozens of children. That collapse triggered chaos. Zolphius woke up in the abyss. Banban transformed into his hellish form. Other mascots went into a frenzy, escaping their cells and attacking everyone. Something even darker escaped from level -4. Sheriff Toadster saw the horror and labeled his friends as criminals.
Something
At the
darker.
same time, Nabnob broke free, interrupting Nabnalina's surgery. The doctors ran for their lives. Most didn't make it. One worker, trapped in the communications sector, was haunted by Nabnob until they lost their mind, endlessly scribbling, "The spider is real." Another group tried to hold off Captain Fiddles and his mutated crew, but were overwhelmed. The Gavanium inside the crew dried up, killing them all, except Aquafiddle. Amid all the chaos,
Aquafiddle?
one character stayed different.
That's
Stinger
him?
Flynn didn't join the massacre. He
That wasn't
rescued
Jumbo
children
Josh?
and led them into the depths of the facility. He even threw a party to keep them calm. Later, Zolphius appeared, and Mason warned the kids not to talk to him. And from this point on, the events of Garten of Banban begin. The player enters Banban's kindergarten, a place that used to be full of children, but is now complete.
Bruh. Hold on. That's a lot. That's a lot. We only 6 minutes in. What? The Banban thing is throwing me. Because, I don't know. I can't even overthink it. I just got hit with so much information at once. I really can't even barely process what just happened. Like, this is crazy.
Completely empty. Goal is simple: find their missing child, who was taken by Stinger Flynn during Bring a Friend Day.
I might need
From the
a more
very
slow
beginning,
walk 'em
the
video.
kindergarten feels strange. The hallways are dark and quiet. The lights flicker, and it feels like something is watching. As the player explores the outer sector, they quickly realize they are not alone. After solving some puzzles, the player reaches the ball pit. Here, they have to complete a puzzle called "What Was My Color?" They need to match the right colors to different characters in the kindergarten. It seems easy, but the pressure builds as they do it. Just when they finish, Opala Bird returns. This time, she's riding a chairlift straight toward them. There's no more hiding. She is coming directly at them. She slowly steps off the lift and begins to move toward the player. When she finally attacks, there are only seconds to react. The player quickly uses the drone to activate a bridge and escape. But Opala Bird doesn't stop. She immediately starts chasing them across a narrow platform. It's a high-speed race, and she is right behind them. Just before she can grab them, the player jumps to safety and presses the emergency stop button. The bridge collapses beneath Opila Bird, sending her falling into the deep pit below. She crashes against the walls as she falls, and then she disappears into the darkness. For now, the player is safe. With Opila Bird gone, the player continues exploring and finds a secret worker lift. This lift goes deeper into the kindergarten, where more answers and bigger dangers are waiting. The player steps in.
Oh, man. This is a lot. This is a lot.
And the lift
well, I know where
begins to
Banbalina
descend,
comes
but
from.
Suddenly, something goes wrong. A huge figure appears from the shadows. Jumbo Josh. His giant green hand grabs the side of the lift, making it shake dangerously. The player has no way to escape. Jumbo Josh climbs onto the platform, and his weight is too much. The entire lift collapses, sending both the player and Jumbo Josh falling into the darkness below. So now, Banban 2 game is start. The player wakes up on the worker lift, which is crushing Jumbo Josh, who is unconscious and has serious injuries. The player steps out into the hub and enters the communications sector, where they hear a voice pretending to be a human security guard. This is actually Banban, but the player doesn't know that yet. Banban says he got locked inside the security office and needs help getting out.
Yeah, it makes no
Opens the break
sense.
room and sends the player to the maintenance
Sounds
room.
like a
While
lie.
exploring, Nabnab suddenly runs out of the darkness and starts chasing the player. The player manages to escape by running up the stairs, and Nabnab, unable to stop in time, crashes into a wall. wall and is knocked out. The player then rushes to the security office to free Banban, still believing he is a guard. But when they enter, no one is inside. Instead, there is a note on the table that says, "If you read this fast enough, you might be able to escape, but I'm going to hit you very, very hard." Before the player can react, Banban appears and knocks them out. He explains that he captured the player to use them for surgery and to take all their key cards. The player wakes up later in the medical sector, stitched up after the surgery, and trapped inside a storage room. After escaping, the player extracts the last of the Gavanium from Captain Fiddles' crew, ensuring that they are gone forever. As they leave the medical sector, they see Zolphius rising from the abyss and notice that Jumbo Josh has woken up and dragged himself away. The player enters the testing sector and comes face to face with Opola Bird, who now has scars on her face. Suddenly, Banbalina shouts, "Quick, in here!" and leads the player into her classroom. The player participates in Banbalina's strange lessons, but during the third one, they hear Slow Celine say, "Hello?" Banbalina leaves to check the noise, and the player, along with the other students, escapes the classroom. The player finds a room with Opola Bird's 6 children and carefully places them in a nearby nest. This opens a door, and Opola Bird comes out, but instead of attacking, she goes to her kids. The player takes this chance to escape, but finds themselves in a hallway blocked by Slow Celine, forcing them to play red light, green light. After this, an unknown being calls for an assembly, causing the facility to shut the doors and lock the player inside the most dangerous room in the building. Banban appears, riding a worker lift behind reinforced glass. He explains that the assembly has been called, and all the walkways open, unleashing the monsters. Jumbo Josh's hand bursts out of his door, and Banbalina runs out of her. Banban tells the player to run through Opola Bird's walkway, which is empty because she is with her children. The player runs, but Jumbo Josh and Banbalina chase after them. Jumbo Josh smashes through doors and windows, trying to grab the player, but he misses every time. At the end of the hallway, the player opens a roof door, tricking Banbalina into running under. Jumbo Josh, who is simply trying to grab either one of them, slams into her, crushing her into the ground and dragging her into the darkness as she screams. The player escapes through the next door and rides a worker lift down to floor B2. So now, Banban 3 game is started. The player reaches the last functional level of the kindergarten, the same place where everything went wrong on Bring a Friend Day.
He just telling me what I saw, though.
Happy to see the player, but warns them that he cannot help face to face. He explains that he is prone to violent instincts, referencing his hellish form, and does not trust himself to resist his dangerous nature. Instead, he directs the player to the aquatic sector to speak with Stinger Flynn. However, when the player arrives, Stinger Flynn has more important matters to deal with and refuses to reason with them. Instead, he places the player into the beach dream. Inside this dream, Flynn reveals that he wants the children to see the real outside world.
That thing, bruh.
Banban shares information about Nob Nob, explaining that some scientists believed Nob Nob's aggression was caused by loneliness. Their solution was to create Nobnalina. Banban, speaking as if he were Dr. Uthman Adam, explains that the procedure was interrupted during the Bring a Friend Day disaster. However, the hardest part of the process was already done. The player only needs to inject the correct Gavanium mix into Nobnalina to bring her to life. After completing the procedure, Nobnalina wakes up and escapes. The player is given a spider assembly audio tape, and Banban instructs them to return to the aquatic sector to play the tape through the lounge speaker. When the player activates the spider assembly, Nab and Nabnalina finally meet for the first time. Banban comments that they were supposed to be mutants, but before he can finish speaking, Stinger Flynn rises from the abyss, knocking Nab unconscious and dragging his body away. Nabnalina, panicked, runs back to Nab's room just before the door closes behind her. The player attempts to investigate Nab's disappearance, but is suddenly frozen in place by Stinger Flynn's psychic abilities. Flynn tells the player that they should have already left the kindergarten and sends them into the desert dream. After waking up, the player enters the dragon fight room, where they come face to face with Tamataki and Chamataki. The walls contain instructions on how to defeat the two-headed dragon. The player must collect 3 firework rockets and place them onto Chamataki's tongue. Each time the creature consumes a firework, it explodes inside the monster. After the third explosion, the old mascot mascot of the kindergarten collapses. The player then retrieves party hats for Mr. Kebab Man. Using Mr. Kebab Man, the player lures one of the Opila chicks away from the protection of Opila Bird and Tarta Bird. The player grabs the baby bird, causing Tarta Bird to jump down and chase them. However, the player quickly jumps onto Tarta Bird's back, taming it. Soon after, Opila Bird jumps down as well, following them into the next room. The player places the baby bird onto Opila's back, just as Stinger Flynn rises from the abyss, holding an unconscious Banban. Flynn explains that Banban has unknowingly allowed him to discover crucial information. Then, using his powers, Flynn transforms Banban into his hellish form. Now fully transformed, Banban wakes up and immediately
Flynn was really trying to get rid of me.
The player and the birds. They enter a testing area designed for racing Opila Bird and Tarta Bird. The player must control which bird moves forward and backward to ensure the correct one reaches the next door first. After completing the race, the player and the birds enter the monster fight area. Riding on Tarta Bird's back, the player moves through another section of the room, while Opila Bird and her baby follow closely behind. Hellish Banban chases after them and eventually corners the player. He tells them, "You can run away, but the smell of your pancreas will always draw me to you." Just as he is about to attack, Jumbo Josh stomps into the room, shaking the ground with each step. Banban immediately turns his attention to Josh and jumps onto him, punching him repeatedly. However, Jumbo Josh is completely unfazed. He grabs Banban like a fly and throws him onto the floor before crushing him with his left hand. As Josh prepares to finish Banban off with both hands, Stinger Flynn suddenly intervenes, pushing Jumbo Josh back and emerging from the shadow.
I don't think I saw that.
To put Jumbo Josh into a dream state using his stinger.
I ran off.
Dodges the attack and grabs Flynn instead. Showing his incredible strength, Josh slams Flynn onto the ground with full force, causing the entire facility to shake. The impact knocks Tarta Bird off balance, sending it falling onto the concrete floor below.
Do I just not remember?
Opila Bird looks at the player, seemingly entrusting them with her child, before jumping down to save Tarta Bird.
I don't think I saw
holding
this.
the Opila chick proceeds
I
to
think
the
I
next
ran
room,
off, but
leaving
maybe I
behind
just
Banban,
wasn't
Jumbo
paying attention.
Josh, Stinger Flynn, and the injured Opila Bird and Tarta Bird. As the elevator descends to floor B3, the player is left with a single message: find the kingdom, find the sheriff, and avoid bitter giggles. So now, Banban 4 game is started. The player and the Opila chick arrive in a long orange hallway. As they step forward, Tamataki and Chamataki suddenly break through a door and start chasing them. The player and the Opila chick sprint through the hall, barely managing to escape when the two-headed beast gets stuck between a narrow passageway. With the immediate danger gone, the player moves forward and discovers a yellow drone remote. But before they can do anything with it, Sheriff Toadster ambushes them. The player is knocked out and dragged away to the interrogation room. When the player wakes up, they are seated at a table in front of Sheriff Toadster. He begins questioning them, asking which monsters they have encountered before. The player answers, and after gathering the information he needs, Sheriff Toadster transports them to the Queen.
I am so honored to be a part of Maybelline.
Miley Cyrus.
Bouncelia recognizes that the player is searching for their child. Instead of keeping them as a prisoner, she releases them and grants them citizenship in her kingdom. She promises to help the player reunite with their children if they assist Sheriff Toadster in finding 3 missing parts needed to repair the broken elevator. As the player follows Sheriff Toadster, they meet Banban at the edge of a massive abyss. Banban takes Mr. Kebab Man from his back and sets him down, calling out to Zolphius with the intention of offering Mr. Kebab Man to him. But before anything can happen, Nabnob suddenly jumps out from the shadows and snatches Mr. Kebab Man, sprinting away. Banban immediately gives chase, and the player runs after them.
So funny,
Unfortunately, the player is slower than both Banban and Nabnab, so by the time they catch up, Banban has already cornered Nabnab behind a glass wall. The player watches helplessly as Nabnab desperately tries to fight Banban, and at first, it seems like Nabnab is winning, but then Banban loses control of himself. His body mutates into his hellish form, a monstrous version of himself that Nabnob stands no chance against. Hellish Banban unleashes a brutal attack, easily overpowering Nabnab. He viciously beats him, knocking him unconscious before hurling his limp body against a wall. Banban then collapses onto the ground, panting heavily in a manic state. Sensing that things are only getting worse, the player quickly runs toward the Queen's throne room, but when they arrive, they find Queen Bouncelia Bouncelia cornered by Bittergiggle and Kittysaurus. Bittergiggle grins and announces that he has returned to deliver his best jokes, determined to make the queen laugh. Queen Bouncelia, unwilling to let him succeed, leaps down from her throne, ready to defend herself. But in the process, she accidentally knocks Little Beak into a giant barrel
Oh,
of Gavanium.
that's
A few
what
moments
happened?
later,
Her
Little Beak
jump
emerges,
did
but
that?
she is no longer the same. The Gavanium has
That
transformed
was
her
your fault,
into a
bro.
massive monster, even bigger than Opalabird.
But we saved that baby.
The mutated Little Beak immediately attacks Kittysaurus,
That's my
tackling him
yeah.
down a flight of stairs where the two
Whew.
begin a fierce battle. Meanwhile, Bittergiggle finally delivers his joke, and Queen Bouncelia struggles to contain her laughter. At first, she tries to resist, but then she
I don't think
suddenly
so.
bursts out laughing. The moment she laughs, she is launched back,
She didn't
and the
even
naughty
try.
ones trapped in her pouch begin escaping. A blinding purple light bursts out of her pouch, illuminating the entire room. Realizing that the situation is
So that's
spiraling out
how
of
we get
control,
into
Sheriff
Banban
Toadster
6.
and the player make a run for the elevator. Bittergiggle, seeing his chance, immediately starts chasing after them. As they sprint through the infirmary, Sheriff Toadster
There you go,
remotely
the
unlocks every single cell,
hating
creating
ass
chaos
jellyfish.
behind them. They reach the elevator just in time, and Sheriff Toadster allows Stinger Flynn to join them. As the doors close, they watch from above as the entire kingdom of Floor 4 begins to collapse beneath them. So now, Banban 6 game is started. And yes, the developers skipped Banban 5 for some reason, so Sheriff Toadster
It's for
and the
some
player
reason.
descend onto a lower
Okay.
floor. And right away, Sheriff Toadster admits that whatever is happening on the floors above terrifies him. It's clear that things are getting worse, and they need to be careful. The two begin walking down a long hallway when suddenly distant laughter echoes through the area. They reach a large open room, but before they can react, the lights go out. In the darkness, the naughty ones begin closing in,
Boy
forcing the
start
player
freaking out.
and
I know I
Sheriff
did.
Toadster to run for their lives. The chase is intense, with the creatures right behind them, but eventually they make it to a well-lit room where they are finally safe. Sheriff Toadster takes a moment to breathe and then explains that he took refuge on this floor after being abandoned. It's clear that he's been surviving here alone, hiding from whatever is lurking in the dark. The player then spots a series of pipes and begins climbing them to reach higher ground. As they near the top, Sheriff Toadster warns them to be careful. Looking ahead, the player sees a glowing light on a table, which seems suspiciously out of place. As they step closer, the nanny suddenly jumps out of the shadows and attacks, forcing the player into a jump
That's
scare.
a
After
pig.
respawning, the player notices that the glowing light has now been replaced with a book. When they click on it, a strange message appears. You feel strange. Something about this book is unusual, but there's no time to think about it now. Returning downstairs, the player finds Sheriff Toadster standing with Bambolina. They begin talking, and through their conversation, Sheriff Toadster starts to put some pieces together. He realizes that Bambolina's captor, along with some of the others, is not only extremely smart, but also very handsome. It's an odd observation, but there's no time to question. For long,
Okay.
they all go their separate ways, and the player moves on to restore the power. To do this, the player must navigate another dark area while staying within the safety of a drone spotlight. The naughty ones are lurking in the shadows, and if the player steps out of the light, they will attack. Moving carefully, the player eventually reaches a power unit with a note lying next to it. The note reads, "They did not look into the face, just like Miss Mason told them to." The meaning of this is unclear, but it seems important.
They
After
did not
inserting
look
a
into
key
the
card
face.
into the slot, the white middle door opens, revealing another mysterious message inside. This time, the words read, "Life is events put in the right order." Nearby, the player also finds a videotape, adding another layer to the growing mystery. With a new light blue keycard in hand, the player heads toward another door, where they finally meet Bittergiggle for the first time in this installment. But instead of attacking, Bittergiggle behaves strangely. He does not chase the player, but instead asks them a question. Are they gone? Bittergiggle then walks closer, admitting that he made a mistake. He also
Yeah, you
asks
did.
if the player has found the switch to the scepter room, and politely informs them that it is inside a closet. Following his instructions, the player enters the room where Bittergiggle was previously trapped and activates a keycard panel button. But now, they must solve a new puzzle, deciphering a code using blue chairs. The player has to place them in the correct order, or else they will have to restart the game. When the first part of the code is solved, a Lincoln green light upstairs turns on. Solving the second part causes a cobalt blue light light on the lower floor to light up. After successfully completing the puzzle, the player returns to the room where Bitter Giggle was and activates a dimmer panel button. Suddenly, the entire room is plunged into darkness. But just as Bitter Giggle had warned, this was expected. The player has to act fast, pointing the lamps toward the whiteboard before the naughty ones attack. If they fail, they will be overwhelmed. Once the danger is averted, Bitter Giggle quickly tells the player to get inside for safety. But before they can do so, a loud banging comes from the door. One of the naughty ones begins mimicking Banban's voice, trying to trick the player into opening it. But Bitter Giggle immediately warns them not to fall for it. Tension builds as the knocking continues, but after a few moments, the lights suddenly switch back on. The naughty ones, unable to withstand the brightness, disappear into the shadows once again. The player is finally safe, at least for now. So using the help of the drone light, the player moves forward and finally meets Sheriff Toadster again, who is standing with Bambolina. They exchange a few words, but before they can react, a sudden attack happens. Bambolina is grabbed by the leg and dragged into the darkness by naughty ones. Sheriff Toadster immediately runs after him, determined to help, but after that, he is never seen again.
Right, that's
for
the last
rest
time
of
we
the game.
saw
The
him.
player continues moving forward. They encounter Stinger Flynn, who has been waiting for them. They speak with Stinger Flynn for a few moments, discussing the situation at hand and what must be done next. The player then proceeds to the potentiality sector, where they must activate more switches to open the next door. Along the way, the player stumbles upon two experimental jesters. However, before anything can be done, both of them suddenly fall into the void and die. Moving further, the player discovers yet another experiment. This time, a jester who is talking to himself. His words are unclear, but something about his presence feels unsettling. Finally, the player meets Banban again. This time, Banban reveals some very important information, hinting at deeper secrets within the facility. Before continuing forward, the player must solve a difficult puzzle involving the Kebab Man. After solving it, they finally come face to face
Took
with
me a
Sir
second. It didn't take me
Dadadoo
too
for
long,
the
though.
first time in the game. Without hesitation, Sir Dadadoo launches an attack on Banban. Before he can turn to attack the player as well, Bitter Giggle steps in, saving
Like a relentless weed,
Bitter
moderate to
Giggle,
severe
bro.
ulcerative colitis symptoms can keep
both the player and Banban from being hit. The fight is intense, but it leads directly into the final part of Banban 6, which is the most important part of the entire series so far. After activating all 4 buttons, Banban, the player, and Bitter Giggle enter the scepter room. Just as they step inside, Nabnab suddenly arrives and presses a button to open a mysterious chest. Inside, they discover the scepter, but something is wrong. It's missing a piece. They quickly realize that the surgeon took the missing piece and fled after the naughty ones escaped. Before they can react, Sir Dadadoo enters the room with his army of leeches following behind him. Banban, thinking fast, tries a different approach. Instead of fighting, he pretends to be friendly toward Nabnab, acting as though he wants to be allies. At first, it seems to work, and Nabnab begins to calm down. But then, in a shocking twist, Banban pulls out a syringe filled with the same mysterious solution that made him hellish before. Without warning, he injects it directly into Nabnab. The effect is immediate. Nabnab transforms into his hellish form, a monstrous new version of himself, now completely out of control. Hellish Nabnab launches a devastating attack on Sir Dadadoo, creating a distraction that allows Banban, Bitter Giggle, and the player to escape into the garden. But their troubles are not over yet. A naughty one is
run funny as
they
hell,
eventually
bro.
reach 2 worker lift shafts. One of the lifts is operational, but the other is completely empty. Bitter Giggle realizes something strange. The naughty ones actually laugh at his jokes. Understanding what he must do, he makes a heartbreaking decision. He jumps into the empty shaft, choosing to become their jester in order to distract them. With no time to mourn, Banban and the player continue forward and board the second lift. But just as they think they are safe, Sir Dadadoo reappears and blocks their exit. This time, he reveals something truly terrifying. He has captured and notified nearly every member of the Banban gang. They are no longer themselves, twisted into monstrous versions under his control. Banban knows that the player is the only one left who can stop this nightmare. With no hesitation, he steps off the lift, positioning himself between the player and the approaching notified army. He knows he won't survive, but he has to buy time. He tells the player to find the surgeon and rescue everyone before it's too late. The player can only watch in horror as Banban is attacked from all sides. The notified cases brutally tear into it, leaving deep scratch marks all over his body.
Dang.
His left eye is ripped out as he struggles to fight back. The
Dang.
numbers are too overwhelming. In the final moments of Banban 6, Banban's screams echo through the facility as he is completely overpowered. The player has no choice but to escape as the screen fades to black. This is
Dang.
how Banban 6 ends. One of the most tragic and emotional moments in the entire series. With Banban gone, Sheriff Toadster missing, and the rest of the gang notified, the future looks darker than ever. The only hope left is for the player to find the surgeon. So now Banban 7 game is start, and this time the player has one main goal: to find Syringin, the key to defeating Sir Dadadu and his notified army. However, things don't go as planned. When the player finally tracks down Syringin, he is immediately hostile. He sees the player as a threat and refuses to help, but the player manages to turn the situation around by setting a trap. Syringin falls right into it, and in a twist of fate, is attacked by one of Sir Dadadu's naughty ones. Now, Syringin is desperate. He begs the player to kill the naughty one, promising that if they do, he will no longer attack them and will even help defeat Sir Dadadu. The player makes a choice and takes down the naughty one. Keeping his word, Syringin stops fighting and reveals his plan. He believes that the only way to take down Sir Dadadu is by using the power of Jumbo Josh. If they can find him, his sheer size and strength will be enough to defeat Sir Dadadu and his minions. But there's a problem. Jumbo Josh is missing. Syringin sends the player out into the city to search for any information on his whereabouts. The search leads them to an old motel where a guest offers valuable information. However, they have one condition. The player must stop the horrible screaming coming from the top floor of the motel. Without much choice, the player heads upstairs and is met with a disturbing sight. A terrified citizen is pointing toward a room, screaming. And then the door swings open. Standing there is none other than hellish, notified Bitter Giggle. As he steps into the hallway, Bitter Giggle looks directly at the player and speaks. "I remember you. You always hated my jokes." With that, the chase begins. Bitter Giggle moves fast, forcing the player to escape by running across the rooftops of the city. The pursuit is relentless, and eventually, the player reaches a roof that is too far to jump across. It looks like there's no escape, but at the last second, Sheriff Toadster appears on the other side, holding out his arms. With no other option, the player takes the leap of faith. Toadster barely manages to catch them, pulling them to safety, but Bitter Giggle is still right behind them. In a last-ditch effort, Toadster throws one of his famous Toad Stars, hitting Bitter Giggle directly. The impact sends Bitter Giggle tumbling off the roof. When he lands, something unexpected happens.
Did him dirty. That was so funny,
The evil corruption fades away, and he returns to his original self. Toadster rushes down to him and cradles him in his arms. Bitter Giggle, now weak and barely able to move, looks up at Toadster and tells one final joke. As he finishes, he takes his last breath. With no time to grieve, the player leaves Toadster and Bitter Giggle behind and continues the search for Jumbo Josh. Unfortunately, he is nowhere to be found. Instead, the player discovers a rare Gavanium substance. Syringin immediately recognizes its potential and comes up with a new plan. By combining a sample of Jumbo Josh's DNA with the surgeon's missing piece of the scepter, Syringin creates a powerful lure designed to draw out Jumbo Josh. But before they can use it, Sir Dadadu arrives with his notified army. Just as planned, he has taken the bait. As the notified cases surround the square, the surgeon smiles and delivers a single warning. "You and your army are about to get knackered." The ground begins to shake. Down the road, a massive figure appears. Jumbo Josh has arrived. He beats his chest like a gorilla before charging into battle. The first target is Kittysaurus. Jumbo Josh punches her in the face with such force that she slams into a nearby courtyard wall. Bambolina tries to jump on him next, but Jumbo Josh easily grabs her and throws her across the city like a rag doll. Nabnalina takes a different approach, climbing all over his body in rapid circles to disorient him. Meanwhile, Tamataki and Chamataki rush forward and tackle him against the courtyard wall. The impact knocks Nabnalina off of him, sending her tumbling to the ground. Jumbo Josh quickly regains control. He lifts Tamataki and Chamataki above his head and hurls them into the distance. As they disappear, Opola Bird and Tarta Bird charge at him together, screaming, but Jumbo Josh barely reacts. He swipes them both away with a single punch, knocking them out instantly. Kittysaurus recovers and makes another attempt, charging at Jumbo Josh with full force, but he counters with a brutal move. He slams his fist straight into her mouth, then follows up with a devastating blow to the side of her head. With her momentarily stunned, he grabs hold of her upper and lower jaw and pulls them apart with all his strength. The impact breaks her jaw and knocks her unconscious. With his entire notified army defeated, Sir Dadadu
That dude just
forces,
fell
he
out
is
the sky.
completely outmatched. In a desperate attempt to survive, he
That
tries
guy
to
out of there.
negotiate. Maybe we can talk about this.
No, we
Jumbo
can't.
Josh isn't interested. Without a second
He
thought,
pulled that boy
grabs
out
Sir
the-
Dadadu and slams him to the ground. He then
pulled his
repeatedly
ass out of
punches
the
him
sky.
over and over, leaving his fate uncertain, either unconscious or dead. With the
We
battle
know he
over,
ain't
Jumbo
dead.
Josh turns his attention to the scepter. Instead of using it, he picks it up and, to everyone's horror, swallows it whole. Syringin immediately panics and screams, "No, don't eat it!" But it's too late.
He's
a
dead.
massive purple explosion erupts from Jumbo
Oh,
Josh's
that's the
mouth,
purple
engulfing
stuff
everything in
from
blinding
when,
light. The
he was
player
laying
loses
there in that
consciousness.
jail
When they
cell.
finally wake up, they are in a strange, unfamiliar sick room. The room contains Syringin, who seems weakened, and a sick Stinger Flynn. Something about the atmosphere is unsettling. On the wall, there is a picture featuring several familiar characters from the game, but Stinger Flynn notices something unusual. There appears to be a hidden figure behind Banban in the image. Curious, the player reaches out and begins tearing the picture. Syringin immediately realizes what they are doing and tries to stop them, but the player refuses. As they peel away the layers, they reveal something shocking. Behind Banban is a blue creature that looks similar to him. However, this version has no birthday hat and has yellow markings above and below its eyes. The moment the hidden creature is revealed, Syringin reacts with pure hostility. Without hesitation, he launches a sudden attack on the player, and just like that, the screen fades to black, ending Banban 7 on a massive cliffhanger. So now Banban 0 game is start.
Oh,
So yes,
yeah.
after Banban 7 game, Euphoric Brothers released Banban 0, because in Banban 0 game, we are going to explore the origins of Banban's kindergarten. The story begins when the player, this time a completely different character from previous games, wakes up in a small, unfamiliar room. This player is known as Case 4. Before they can
I
even
thought he was
understand
Case
where
4.
they are, a voice comes from behind the door. The voice is strict and commanding, demanding that the player stay in the back of the room with their hands visible.
Or 5.
Then the door opens
Something.
and Banban himself, or Case 6, steps inside. But instead of being hostile or aggressive, Banban simply teases the player. He reveals that the player is new here, suggesting that they've just arrived in this mysterious place. After a short conversation, Banban takes the player to another area, a room that looks like a playground. Here, they meet Banbalina, or Case 7. She looks at the player and says something strange. "Even if one of you weren't enough." This suggests that the player looks similar to Banban, which could mean something much deeper about their connection. In order to make Banbalina a friend, the player needs to impress her. Banban gives them a task: to interact with the others in the room and build relationship. As the player
Banban 0 was the best one.
explores, they meet
Kinda,
several strange beings, including
pretty
Gavanian
cool.
Blob, mysterious creatures made of the same material seen in previous games. The player slowly befriends them and even manages to win Bambalina's approval by showing her a test. They scored an A+. They also give her a pink bow tie, the same one she
Wow.
wears in later chapters.
forgot.
This moment
That's
officially
really his bae.
establishes their friendship. After forming these
That's
bonds,
really his bae.
Banban, Banbalina, the Gavanian Blobs, and the player start playing a game of hide and seek. The player is chosen as the seeker, and just as the game begins, a new presence enters the room. It's Syringin. Without warning, Syringin grabs one of the Gavanian Blobs. Banban immediately steps in, demanding that Syringin leave. But instead of arguing, Syringin starts talking about Banban's involvement in certain research projects. He claims that Banban has abilities he refuses to acknowledge. Then, Syringin says something chilling. "You can control it. You know you can." He is referring to Banban's ability to transform into a demon. After delivering this cryptic message, Syringin leaves, taking the captured Gavanian Blob with him. The encounter shakes Banban, and he decides to leave with the player to comfort Banbalina, who is terrified by what just happened. After a long, tense day, everyone goes to sleep. But in the middle of the night, Banban wakes the player up. He tells them he has a surprise for them and asks them to follow him. As they move
Man.
through the halls, they meet Truffletooth,
I ain't
or
forgetting
Case
what happened
43,
here.
a small creature that can be used as a
Truffletooth.
flashlight. Eventually, they reach a large
I was
door,
thi-
but it
I was
won't
hoping we
open.
were gonna see
Banban calls
Truffletooth
for his
the
best
last
friend,
game.
Nabnab, or Case 8, to help. Nabnab arrives, pries the door open, and then joins the group. Behind this door is yet another, much larger door, but in order to open it, 5 people must stand on separate tiles at the same time. Since there aren't enough of them, and Truffletooth is too light to activate a tile, Banban sends the player to find more people. The player searches the facility and eventually finds Bittergiggle, or Case 17, trapped in a room filled with stun gas. After stopping the gas flow
This puzzle
and
was so
saving
crazy.
Bittergiggle, he agrees to help. However, one more person is needed. Before the player can continue searching, Kittysaurus, or Case 26, appears and offers her assistance. With enough people gathered, they all return to the door and stand on the tiles. Before they enter, Banban gives the player a special position, right in the center, directly in front of the door. He tells them that this surprise is specifically for them. The door slowly opens, revealing a massive, demonic creature. This is Ramamba, a horrifying, ram-headed, worm-like beast. Without hesitation, it lunges at the player, intending to eat them. But at the last second, Nab throws himself forward, pushing the player out of the way and sacrificing himself in the process. Ramamba devours Nab and disappears deeper into the facility. Kittysaurus, unwilling to let Nab die, rushes after Ramamba. Bittergiggle follows, and the player has no choice but to chase after them. Their pursuit leads them back to the playground area, but it's too late. Ramamba devours both Kittysaurus and Bittergiggle right in front of the player. Before the player can react, Banban and Truffletoot arrive. Banban reaches for the player, urging them to come closer. But as they move toward him, the ground beneath them collapses. The trio falls deep underground, landing in a dungeon-like area. Banban quickly regains his composure and tells the player to take Truffletoot and explore the cave.
Found a bug, he ain't fall.
Urging them to come closer. But as they move toward him, the ground beneath them collapses. The trio falls deep underground, landing in a dungeon-like area. Banban quickly regains his composure and tells the player to take Truffletoot and explore the caves. He will go in a different direction, and they will meet back at the same place later. As the player moves through the dark caves, something follows them. Ramamba is still hunting. The player runs, trying to escape, but they reach a dead end. Just when it seems like there's no way out, Banban reappears, but not in his normal form. He has transformed into his demonic state. Without hesitation, he engages Ramamba in a brutal fight. The battle is intense, and as it rages on, they eventually end up back in the playground room. In a shocking turn of events, Banban supposedly kills Ramamba, and all the characters that were eaten, Nab, Kittysaurus, and Bittergiggle, are released. However, they are unconscious, lying lifelessly on the ground. With the battle over, Banban turns to the player and suggests something unexpected, a game of hide and seek. He points at Bittergiggle, who is still unconscious, and says he will be the seeker. The player, trusting Banban, agrees and follows him to a special hiding spot. But the moment they step inside, Banban locks them in. This is when the shocking truth is revealed. The player of Banban Zero is actually Flumbo, the same character seen trapped in the closet in the Banban 8 trailer. Banban, now in almost the same condition as in that trailer, stares at the locked door, leaving the player trapped in darkness as the game ends.
Dang.
Diagnosed with Crohn's disease and struggling with your symptoms? It's not too soon to talk to your doctor about Entyvio for moderate.
Is that it?
The history of the nanny. In the ending, we can
That was the end of the video?
exactly why the nanny is standing there in the final moments and what it could mean for Garten of Banban. Hesitation. It lunges at the player, intending to.
Oh, he
eat them.
doesn't
But
go
at
in the
the last
Bonbon
second,
8.
Nab throws himself forward, pushing.
Oh, that sucks. I thought, oh, my battery died. Dang it. Okay, well, that was a lot. That was a lot. You breezed through
Garten
that
of
story.
Banban has one of the most
Hold on, y'all.
complex.
I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap that up there. I want to get some gaming in. I don't know what we're going to play yet. But, be right back. We're going to play some stuff. I did want to watch that lore story, but I feel like he just told me everything that happened in the game. I didn't get nothing out of it. Like, we'll have to go into a more deep dive lore. I'll be right back, y'all.